So when I would come to a stop, what was happening was I was dropping voltage, and because I had really old cables, so now I oversized all the cables, ran all new cables, bypassed it. Now we got no problem at all. Coming to a stop, it won't stall. Got full power. Everything's running how it should. So, all right, I got all my electrical gremlins sorted out. She running good. No cutout or nothing now. Running 14.3 volts on average. All right, here we are, back at the house. Now, this is going to be the update. So let me go ahead and grab my vice grips. Excuse the mess. I can clean up tomorrow in here. I've just been trying to get this thing. I had dug through all my old wires and wiring and this and that. And so tomorrow I can finally go get it cleaned up. Go get probably get a cold air intake for it maybe. Boom, there it is. So my problem, I tested my alternator. So I'm having these, you don't see a lot of videos on this. There's a couple out there, but it seems like the C6s, there's really not a lot of videos on them and the issues that you'll have. But there are some. So I looked around and stuff like that, looked on the forums, and it's just a pigsty in here. Anyways, so what I did was a big 3 upgrade. I looked at all my cables and I said, this is terrible. And considering how much heat and stuff is going through this engine bay, I mean, these cables, these are the original. I went ahead and stepped everything up to 1 and 2 gauge. I used 1 gauge on the power cables and 2 gauge on the ground. So what I ended up doing was I went ahead and I tucked the original power wire out of the way and disconnected it, so it's just dead, okay? I cut it down here. Let me grab my light. Because that cable, obviously somebody, I think I showed you guys in the last video, but somebody obviously, either they tried to repair it themselves or somebody else repaired it, and basically it didn't look too good. So you can see the little stub out right there, okay? Now what I did was I ran a brand new cable. I made all these custom. These cables are kind of expensive, but it's, you know, running back and forth, this and that, going to get the pieces and stuff like that if you forget something. But at the end of the day, something like this is going to be a lot. It's going to be able to handle. It's going to last longer in here, right? So, regardless if you just get OEM or if you just get what's at the parts store or whatever, regardless, you just need to replace your cables. If you're up around the mileage, I would say 100,000 miles. I mean, you really shouldn't have to, but considering the situation on these vehicles, you might as well, right? Just to get it out of the way, okay? So my whole deal, I think, was that the alternator cable was really bad. It was sketchy. So I ran, what I did, instead of running it through the back, again, because I want easy access, I ran it through here, right through the intake manifold. Comes out right there. And then run it right through here, under the fuse box, straight to the battery. Okay, then I ran my other battery cable straight to the starter down there. And then I ran a short loop here, and that goes straight to the B+ terminal. And so this is all 1 gauge, copper, new terminals, new cable. And then for the grounds, what I did was I cleaned up all the body grounds again, the frame, and then I ran a brand new ground here, straight to the frame down there with a washer. And then what I did was I ran a brand new, the ground. This one originally it went down. Can't remember where the hell it went, but it wasn't bolted to the block, I'll tell you that. So what I did was I ran it straight to the cylinder head on the back, just like a Chevy truck. Okay, and now, boom, I got a brand new starter in there. I got a brand new battery. My alternator tested good. I just went on a 30-minute drive, no stall issue at all. Everything is gone. Voltage is consistently reading 14.3, 14.1 when you come to a stop, but it kind of 14.1, 14.3 at stop, and then everything else is 14.3, 14.4. So now, no stalling. I ended up pulling the intake manifold off, trying to splice the harness open, and the coil packs went through. I cleaned up the intake, cleaned up the valve covers, all that stuff. But the amount of heat that gets on these vehicles, you really want to, I mean, that is hot. I mean, these wires get really hot. It gets too hot. I almost am still considering just buying a new harness just to have one on hand, because God knows how high the price of parts could get on these things, right? The fuel pumps, about $600, right? For both sides, $600-700. You could probably get them for $500 online, but so yeah, everything works good now. So I'm glad that I can at least drive the car now. So now all I need to be doing, really, I already got brand new spark plugs, brand new wires, and so really I'm just going to change the air filter out. I want to buff out the headlights real good, and other than that, I'm going to go ahead and start tackling some of the body work, really. Just get rid of some of that, get a spoiler for it, and then get the LED tail lights. So that's the update. I finally got the car where I can drive it now. So I'm going to do some more testing tomorrow. And yeah, whatever you do, I just recommend, if you're having these issues, just consider how much heat is under the hood of these engines, how brittle the harnesses get. I mean, it's probably some of the worst I've ever seen. I mean, it gets hot under here. So if you're having electrical issues and stuff like that, you know what? Sometimes you just need to bite the bullet and go ahead and bite the bullet, spend the money, boom, and get it done, right? So I'm glad this is out of the way, and I can at least enjoy the car for the next 2 months before it gets cold, right? And that's pretty much it. And then tomorrow, go get it washed up. I'm gonna buff out those headlights. They're ridiculously bad. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Another thing that I did do was I actually pulled part of the dash collar off, and I went ahead and got rid of I disconnected the steering wheel sensor, position sensor. That way the active handling cannot kick in. I've heard about horror stories with that. I don't like that. I just like a raw driver, and that's why I like this era of motorcycles and cars. This is before they put all the electronics. Now I understand Chevrolet, with the Corvettes, right? That's kind of their cutting edge, leading technology stuff. But at the end of the day, yeah, I'd rather just have a raw handling, no electronic aids other than just ABS, right? I got my ABS, and that's it. I don't need traction control. I don't need stability control. I don't need the brake locking the wheel up for me while I'm driving on the highway. I don't need that, okay? I just need a nice daily driver race car to keep me busy. All right, so that's that. I'm going to go ahead and wrap up some of the harness tomorrow, too, a little bit more. And, yeah, just kind of get the thing where I want it. So I'll probably have to cut that part out. But, yeah. Here, this is, yeah, oh, yeah. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that whole cam package and the LS7 lifters. I'm going to take it out of that truck. I'm putting it in this. I'm going to take this to the dyno. But I'm not in a hurry right now. I just kind of want to enjoy the car. I don't want to have to tear it apart again. So I'll probably do that over the winter time. But I'll definitely probably at least get all that stuff taken out of that truck. Because next season, what I would like to have is this thing maybe pro-charged or something like that, right? I mean, I got a huge turbo and a full turbo kit from my Firebird. I had a Trans Am with, it's just a pigsty. I bought all this stuff, and I got to clean this shit up. Oh yeah, tomorrow, and then I'm gonna have exhaust welded on it. But I got intercooler. I got a 76 or a 78 millimeter turbo for it. So I still have a complete turbo kit. And so yeah, that's about it. So yeah, thanks for watching. Hope that helps.